Hey, this is Matthew from Nerd News Today. Welcome back to our continuing coverage of SDCC 2019. Now, in this video, we're going to take a look at one of my favorite booths that pretty much have been covering since like day one. I've been doing this whole toy and nerd news, whatever stuff. That's the Diamond Select booth. Diamond Select, we've looked at a lot of their stuff recently. In fact, we've actually been reviewing more of their stuff. We had a whole slew of their Ghostbusters 2 figures, the real Ghostbusters figures. We just actually looked at, before San Diego Comic-Con, their San Diego Comic-Con 2019 exclusive Enterprise C ship. So, Diamond, we're pretty big fans of them, and they always bring out a ton of new things to show at San Diego Comic-Con and basically any event that they go to. Now, we're going to take a look at basically everything new they have from Marvel, from DC, and everything else, which is going to be horror licenses, Godzilla, a few new ones, actually, that are kind of unexpected. But what you're not going to see in this video, or at least as much as possible, just to save you guys time, is stuff that they've already shown. So that's going to include no Nightmare Before Christmas stuff, because I don't think there was anything new there. I think there's actually like one new item, which you can find out there on some other sites, and I'll tell you about that later on. But we're trying to basically cover mostly what was new here, or just not really seen that much in public before. And there are a few things we'll talk about once we look at everything else, just to go over some other bits and pieces, some good housekeeping, if you will. So let's go ahead and get started with the Diamond Select Marvel stuff, and starting over here with some Mini-Mates. So you guys can see here, this is Mini-Mates Series 11. We got a bunch of new characters that have never been done before. We got a Peggy Carter finally, Peter Parker it looks like down here, Dr. Octopus. I haven't really been collecting Mini-Mates for some time. That's mostly because my wallet can only handle so much, but Mini-Mates are a lot of fun, and in particular here, these Venomized Mini-Mates, I really, really like these, especially the Captain America, the Hulk. This is a really cool wave, and I'm going to assume that they're going to really be expanding on this whole Venomized thing as well. We're going to get a lot more Venomized Mini-Mates in the future, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. So here is now, these are some of the vinyl statues that they're doing. Here's a statue of Iceman, and again, most of these images that you're going to see in this gallery are from Toy Arc. We didn't take every single image that they have on their website, but if you do want to see more pictures of all these toys here, as well as the things we didn't include, do check out Toy Arc and the other sites we're going to refer to later. So again, this is some of their Premier Collection statues. These are the more higher-end statues. Here's a look at Captain America, Chris Evans' movie-style Captain America, and Carnage. These statues are much pricier than a lot of their other stuff. That is the good thing about Diamond, is their price points really vary nicely. So there's really something for everybody. So this is a little more for the higher-end collector, because these are the more expensive statues. But we're going to look at a little bit later on. There's busts that are like $40 to $60 typically. There's also some new vinyl diorama statues that are usually around that same price point as well. And they look just as good. I mean, really the biggest difference comes down to the materials that they're using to make these things. So if you're not really a stickler for having something that's like, really heavy and solid like this, and you don't mind some plastic, some PVC, whatever, then, they have something for everybody. And here we go. Here is, got a Miles Morales Spider-Man over there, and there's a Mystique next to him. We haven't actually done any proper reviews of any of these things yet, any of the Premier Collection items, but we have reviewed some of the busts in the past, and those were really high quality and some great products. And, Diamond is, again, one of those companies you never have to worry about details for, in terms of, especially their statues. Their detail, the paint job, it's always very clean, very good. You get what you pay for with Diamond, and in some cases, when you're paying less money, you still get even better than what you paid for, which is pretty great. Here's a brand new Mystique statue coming to that collection as well. And I like her bizarre-looking ray gun. I don't know if that's actually ever used in a comic, but I think it just looks very cool. Here is the Marvel Premier Collection Juggernaut statue, and that's another expensive big boy right there, because that is a hefty, hefty guy. You can really just feel the weight in this statue, in the pose, everything about it. It really just screams Juggernaut to me. And there are other Juggernaut statues in the market. Some I think have been made by Diamond, some by other companies. But this one in particular, it really catches his just immenseness. And here is Hellah. Now, this looks a little more like a comic book style Hellah, as opposed to the movie style Hellah, but it's kind of an amalgamation of the two. Because at this point in the comics, it is ultimately an amalgamation of everything. But, what I kind of like about this is it reminds me very much of the Batman animated series stuff, even though we shouldn't really be combining those two thoughts in the same sentence. But I think this looks very good regardless. Here is a Green Goblin, a comic book style Green Goblin statue, and he's riding on his glider. And it's really cool, as they basically caught him in mid-action, so he's throwing one of his pumpkin bombs right at you. It's a really cool pose, very unique looking, and I love that smoke effect as well coming out of the glider. Here we have a new Hulk statue, and again, I feel like this is another one of those where, looking at the Juggernaut, you can really feel the size of the character. And this one here, you can really see, you can see his pectorals flexing. You can see all the muscles tightening on his biceps and his arms. in his abdomen. You can really see like this is a statue in mid-action doing something really big and powerful. And here we go with some of the Avengers Endgame product. So here we have a new Hulk statue with the Nano Gauntlet, which looks really good to me. Again, if you want more photos from different angles, you can go to Toy Arc. They have a few more pictures of this over there. We recommend supporting their site since we're borrowing their photos for these videos, and several other sites we're borrowing from. Now this one right here, this is a real standout for me. This Thanos, I love this Thanos. I don't really collect high-end statues, but this right here, I mean, if that isn't a centerpiece to your collection, I don't know what is for any statue collectors out there. Really great detail. The base is just out of this world. I mean, literally, because it probably is based on something from out of this world. But everything on that is just really, really great looking. And here's another one that kind of just snuck in, which I really like. This Alex Ross-inspired statue of Angel, which is based on, I think it's one of the covers from Marvel's, which was kind of what got him on the map with Marvel Comics, in fact. It's I think it's issue number 3, in fact, which is when they introduced like all the mutants into the world. Very, very cool cover and a very cool statue of it. Here is another one that I'm really excited for. You're going to see later on a few different 90s X-Men animated series style statues, just 90s X-Men stuff. And Diamond's been doing that with action figures and other stuff. But here is now a look at Jubilee, 90s style Jubilee. She's got the fireworks coming out of her hands. She's in the danger room. She looks a little too happy considering there's like a saw coming for her leg, but she's trained for this. I'm not. Here's a PVC statue of Morbius, and again, you can see the price point now in the corner of this image here. And so these are, again, now a little bit on the less expensive side. So, as you can see, there's not really any loss in quality whatsoever. I mean, that's pretty amazing to me. You're going to spend like $50 on a statue that really looks almost as good as a $150 statue, rather, or just more expensive pieces. And the biggest difference, I would say, is mostly size and the type of materials that they use. And I think for $50, this is a pretty gorgeous piece of work. Here's a really cool Spider-Man statue also. I like what they did with the webbing effect, and you can see it wrapping around and everything. So the Beast statue, I think we actually have seen before. I think we saw that at Toy Fair. But next to him is something else we'll talk about in a moment, and that's the Punisher statue, PVC Punisher. Beast, again, though, it's really cool. He's hanging upside down. I just love that look, and all the stuff coming at him as well. It's like all these rods flying towards him in the danger room. But let's talk about that Punisher real quick. That is, to me, it looks like a John Romita Jr. inspired Punisher. Like, this is taking what he did on Punisher Warzone when that first launched, and it put it into a statue form. It's got that really stocky look to him. The face, to me, just like screams John Romita Jr. And I don't think they've done much, or anybody's really done much with like the John Romita style look. So, this right here, I don't really collect Punisher stuff at all anymore, but I really just love what they did with it. It's top-notch stuff. Here is another Hulk statue, which I think we may have seen this as well earlier, but, it's here. We'll just talk about it anyway. This is another Hulk statue from Avengers Endgame. Here he is in mid-action pose. It kind of reminds me, actually, of like a Winston from Overwatch. I know it's kind of a weird thing to say, but just that pose. It looks very like Big Monkey-esque, for lack of a better term, but I like it. Don't get me wrong, folks. Here we have an Iron Man Mark 85 armor statue, and he's flying off of his base and going pew-pew on whoever is getting in his way. Very heroic pose. Love the colors. This armor has grown on me. I wasn't really too keen on it the first time I saw it, but once I finally saw the movie, it really grew on me. And again, same thing with this War Machine armor as well. I'm always going to be kind of partial to like the first War Machine armor. I bought a Hot Toys, in fact, of that figure. It's like one of the only Hot Toys I own. But, this stuff right here, these are great-looking PVC statues. And again, like, the price point is really good for these guys. I mean, you can spend a lot more on other things, and, you can spend way more on plenty of other stuff out there that's not worth it. And these things look great. This one I'm very excited for as well. We're getting a Rescue statue from Diamond. And Rescue's got a whole bunch of propulsion coming out of her feet. She got it in her arms. She's got all of her missile launchers opened up, ready to go. I was super ecstatic to see Rescue in the film. And I'm loving all the merchandise that she's getting as well. Long overdue. It's about time. And here's the Ant-Man as well in his quantum costume, his quantum suit to go through time. I don't think it's going to come with any baby version of him, unfortunately. That'd be kind of cool to add on, but I doubt they're going to do that. But it's just a nice little statue there as well. And he's kind of crouched down, so he does look a little bit smaller. So you're still getting that, the concept of him being the Ant-Man, because he's going to look smaller next to everybody else just because of his pose. And case in point, you can see here, we know he's a normal-sized guy, but just because of how he's positioned, he will look different. He will be more Ant-Man-esque, I guess, is a word to go with here. And there's that Captain America statue. Again, like, for $50, you're getting the worthy Captain America. That's a really great statue. It's just a really great piece. I mean, it's really good. I can't get over that one. I like that one a lot, actually. And here's something else I'm really digging. I know Andrea out there from our website is going to be really into this as well. They're going to be doing a whole line of Marvel animated statues, or busts in this case, and they're starting with the 90s animated X-Men statues. So we've got Wolverine, Jean Grey, Magneto, and Cyclops to kick off this whole series, and they look really good. I love the little glint in his eye that Cyclops has there. They've done a really good job on capturing the paint as well, like how they colored the cells and everything. Because at the time it was a very unique way of like painting them in American animation. And we've seen what Diamond can do with like Batman the animated series and all the DC things. This is their first time jumping into the Marvel animated universe, I believe. And they're really doing a great job of getting all the colors and all the paint correct, because it did have a very specific, unique look in the cartoon show. And you can't make the statues without doing that correct. Otherwise, it's just going to be like normal X-Men, whatever. It's not a big deal. The paint is really the biggest, most important part of these guys, and they really nailed the appearance of them from front to back. And this Wolverine, too. I really like this Wolverine. Claws look on point as well. It's... And by the way, just a little quick note. I believe these are referencing basically not Season 1, but this is more for like Season 2 and the rest of the show. Just for anybody out there. I mean, that's just my thought. I don't quite know that for sure, but that's based on my how I remember the show and how the animated show looked after the first season. So pretty sure it's for the later seasons, but still looks very good. So here we go now with some other statues that they're going to have there. Scotty Young is getting a whole series from Diamond Select. That's all these statues that you can see on the right that are based on his drawings for Marvel Comics and his very unique way of doing the characters. You can see here we've got a Deadpool, a Black Panther, there's a Cyclops, there was a Thanos. There's actually a Spider-Man being like devoured by Venom that we're going to see in a little bit. Here's another shot that I think snuck in of the mini-mates, in fact. You can see Psylocke's head over there. So by the way, Psylocke, we've already seen her at Toy Fair as well, so I don't think I put a picture of her in here. Or actually, no, there might be another picture of her coming up in a little bit. But we've seen Psylocke before, so, we're not going to go too crazy about that figure. We'll be buying it, don't worry. We'll be getting that one for sure, because I'm a big Psylocke fan. And I have to have Psylocke. Can't not have Psylocke, folks. And also, off to the side next to Psylocke was a Sandman figure, which unfortunately was face down. Like, most people have taken photos of it, they've only got shots of it face down, because at some point it just fell over. But again, I think we saw the one at Toy Fair as well, so, it's kind of old news. But let's go ahead, let's move on to what Diamond is doing with DC Comics. And starting things off, we have a look at a Deathstroke Pvc statue. Again, a $50 statue, but that to me does not say $50. That looks like a really nice high-end statue. He's got all the detail on his chainmail armor, which still to say confuses me about his outfit, but I still love it. Here is a look at Wonder Woman from Justice League. It's a movie-style Gal Gadot Wonder Woman. Really nice base, a good pose as well, and I like the little effect that she's blocking something. Wakanda Forever. Wrong franchise. It's a good-looking statue, really good likeness as well, and just, again, more great attention to detail from Diamond. And right next to that, we have the Batwoman statue based on the CW Cassandra Cain Batwoman, played by Ruby, I can't remember her name, Ruby Rose, I think that is. I haven't watched the show, so I couldn't tell you, or watch anything from Legends of Tomorrow into that world, so don't know much about it, but I know that it does look like a lot like her. It's a very, very good likeness to that character. And, again, they're going down this lane of all the TV franchises, the movie franchises. It's a whole universe. And if you're collecting DC, I mean, you can really get your hands on everything through people like Diamond. Now, I really like this Robin PVC statue as well. I think this is like the Tim Drake style Robin, it looks like, from the 90s. It's a really good-looking Robin statue, and I just love this dynamic pose that is very unique. Like how many other people make a pose where they're like flopping over to that side. It's a very unique pose. I like it a lot. Here now is a better shot of that CW Catwoman, so you can see the likeness a little bit better. I really dig the hair as well. The hair is what makes the statue for me. Because otherwise, I think it's a cool costume. I like the costume, but, Batman is a Batman, and Batwoman's a Batwoman. You've seen them before, but it's that hair flowing that really kind of adds character to it. Now here is a Suicide Squad Harley Quinn. I believe it's supposed to be a Suicide Squad Harley Quinn, with all of her gear. I'm not really a big fan of Harley stuff at this point. I feel like I'm kind of like done with Harley. There's been so much Harley stuff coming out here and there. But again, it's a really good statue, though. It is a good statue. Don't get me wrong. Good look on it. Good look all over it. Here we've got a Wonder Woman Lasso statue. They're calling this one. And again, these are all PVC statues, so these are fairly affordable, about $50 a statue. And this is a really powerful pose that they put Wonder Woman in. Like she's in mid-punch almost. It's a very strong-looking stance. And again, it's really mirrored by all the stuff on that base, the columns and everything. It just makes her look very strong. Here we got a Red Hood statue. This is a really cool one, too. And another very unique pose, because he's got like a leg off the base, as you can see here. So he's kind of like balancing in a really interesting, unique way, which really, again, will stand out from other statues you're going to have in your collection. I like that a lot. It's just nice to have something a little bit different in your shelf, or wherever you're going to put these guys. We're getting a new Darkseid statue as well. I think this may have been shown off before, but don't quote me on that. But it's my first time seeing it, at the very least I can remember, so that's a thing. But he's going to come with 2 different heads. You can see there's like a fiery eye head, which is very, very cool. And there are more photos of this, again, available on ToyArk, so go ahead, check out their site if you want to see a few more close-ups of him. And then we have a Killing Joke statue, based on the Brian Boland illustrations from the Killing Joke comic written by Alan Moore, who, as of San Diego Comic-Con, is now officially retired for good, more or less. But this new statue, really good Brian Boland statue, and a good choice for a particular scene to do. It really captures the craziness of Joker and just the absolute insanity and lunatic that he is in that comic. Now here we've got some of the slightly a little bit more expensive statues. This is the DC Gallery Lobo statue, and it's got him on his motorcycle. I don't even know what to call that thing. It's not a motorcycle, but it's like a space motorcycle. But this is a really, really awesome looking piece. If you're a DC collector, this is a must-have. Here is one that's going to cause some controversy, but Diamond is going very, very deep into the Teen Titans Go franchise. These are the first time that they're getting statues. And, we're big fans of Teen Titans Go on this website. We like them a lot. I know a lot of folks out there don't, but we do. And these statues are very cool. It's nice to get some merchandise that looks good, because there's been some action figures in the past and a few other pieces of merch that have come out. They're kind of stinky. These look very good, actually. So, if someone's out there really into it, they're very great statues. They've got a lot of really good detail. You can see Raven has her Pegasus on that. There's the boombox. There's the burrito with Beast Boy. Cyborg has his hamburger. There's a lot of really great details on those bases. Got a lot of little Easter eggs. Of course, we have to have some DC mini-mates. And you can see here we have some Batman Returns mini-mates. We got Batman and Catwoman. And then there's a bunch of Batman Who Laughs statues. Basically, the alternate universe Batmans. The bad Batmans, if you will. The Batman Who Laughs... these are mini-mates, not mini-mates. These mini-mates just look very good. And the Batman Who Laughs is just creepy as all. Alright, so here are some bigger statues. Now you can see that there's a bust of the Mad Hatter and Harley Quinn over there on the left corner. And then we've got some Justice League statues. So we have the DC Trinity, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. Just really good classic poses. Great paint job. Again, it's based on the animated series, looks like. Just very good, strong poses. And this one over here, this is a new statue, Batman animated series, and he's just firing off his grappling hook. And I just love that little spiral coming out of the grappling hook to grab onto things. Again, just very unique, because there's already been so many statues of these characters before. It's hard to make things fresh and new, and what they're doing this year with just like all these little things coming out of it, I think that's what's really making them awesome for me. Here we have now a Dark Knight Returns statue next to a Green Arrow statue. The Dark Knight Returns, though, that is a good statue based on the Frank Miller comic. So we've got Batman, Carrie Kelly. I love just how hulking and dominating that Batman is on that base, and especially next to Carrie Kelly. It's a real eye catcher. Alright, here's one of the alternate universe Batmans. I think it's like the Green Lantern Batman from a different universe where he's still basically a bad guy. But, yeah, I don't really know too much about that universe. I've read a little bit of those things, don't know a ton of details about them. But I do know that's a really good-looking statue. And by the way, there's a Captain Marvel that I totally forgot to include in that Marvel section. But hey, there's part of her. So go to ToyArk, check out more pictures of her there. So in addition to all of that stuff, let's go ahead and look at the non-Marvel DC things, starting with it. We're going to be getting a Pennywise Jack-in-the-Box. That is the creepiest thing I've seen so far at San Diego Comic-Con. Granted, we haven't seen what Mezco's done yet, so I don't even know how much more creepy it can get. But take my word for it, this is pretty creepy. I love that base as well. Yeah, I don't know if it's movie accurate. I don't really care because I don't want to see the movie to double check it. Here is a new Pennywise Mini-Mate. That face, man. That face. And yes, he does come with that balloon, which is a very unique accessory for the Mini-Mates. Normally, I don't even think they come with accessories, typically. So, with the exception like the Ghostbusters, I think they have their proton guns, but this guy here actually has a balloon. That's just creepy. These are oh god, no, those are creepier. No, please make them go away. These are some more little Pennywise statues. I think these are actually articulated. No, okay, those are just statues, but they are frightening. I did not want to see those. Let's just move on to the next image, please. I think there's like one other Pennywise thing we're going to look at, which is another statue. Let's just, please, why did I make these gallery images go so long? Oh no, I don't want to see these. Alright, there's our Pennywise balloon statue. Again, only $50. And you could have this creepy, horrible thing stare at you all night. And I love what they did with this at Diamond. I don't know if this was intentional or not, but like this statue is hiding in the shadows. Like look at how it's positioned in this display. He's just hiding, ready to kind of pop out you at any moment. That is very creepy. I don't know if that was meant to be done, but good on you if it was, Diamond. New Predator statue. This actually I'm very, very excited for. I love anything Predator, and this one right here is really, really great looking piece. Another really great statue. Now, by the way, just off to the side of him, you're going to see Westworld figures. We're not covering Westworld because we've seen them all, I believe, at Toy Fair already, so I decided not to cover those guys. But here's something that I think was new. Or if it's not new, we're showing it here now. But we're getting some Sonic Racer statue. We're starting here with Shadow. Shadow's going to get a Sonic Racer statue. I never played any of the racing games from Sonic. Wasn't too interested in those. Not a Sonic guy, but they look pretty cool, and any Sonic collectors out there, I'm sure you're going to be happy to get them. And off to the side, by the way, again, we've seen that Sonic set before. That was at Toy Fair, so we're not covering it today. You can look back at our Toy Fair coverage if you want to actually see that a little bit more in detail. Again, here is the Sonic Racer car with Sonic himself in it. These are very cool. I don't know if they're going to really expand the line beyond these two characters, but, for starting off, Sonic and Shadow is a pretty great way to start. And, by the way, right behind that, you see a Sonic the Hedgehog bank. So here we have now some Star Wars statues. These are, again, on the higher end. You can see that this Dengar is 160. So Diamond, as you guys might recall, they have now joined forces officially with Gentle Giant, and they're handling a lot of their stuff now. So here we have, this is not the first, but this is one of now the earlier parts of their partnership we're seeing here on display. There's a new Darth Vader statue, very imposing Darth Vader statue. It's a very classic traditional pose for Vader, but it's the base that's a little bit different. I love that little snake that's going around his legs. Like I think this might be intended to be the Dagobah statue. I'm not entirely sure. Like if it's supposed to be. Yeah, it does say Empire Strikes Back. So, this is Empire Strikes Back Darth. Very cool. This one too. I like this one a lot. This is the Rey Dreamer statue from the current franchise. This is it's a really touching statue too. Like the pose is very nice. It's nice to have something that's not like battle ready. It's just kind of calm and serene and thoughtful. This is a really strong piece, I think, for any collectors out there who are doing the Star Wars thing. We're getting some bookends now. This is kind of fun. We're getting Porg bookends. So you've got one Porg on this side who's looking at your books, and the other one who's balancing on a lightsaber. It's pretty darn adorable. And if you're going to put your books somewhere, I mean, what better way to squash them together than have two Porgs on them, right? I was actually wondering who was going to make Porg stuff this year at San Diego Comic-Con, and I'm glad that Diamond is still doing Porgs, because you can never have enough Porgs. And here is a new Chewbacca statue as well. This is him, again, from the current movies, I believe. Or this might be from Solo. Yes, this is from Solo. In fact, this is from Solo. Technically it's more modern, but only because it's a more modern movie. But here he is in his Solo outfit with his goggles. He's got his bowcaster. It's a nice-looking statue. And here we have another statue of Rey. This one I think we may have... I want to say we've seen this one before as well. But here's just a better look at it. And again, I don't like this Rey as much as the Dreamer statue, to be quite honest, because this one, it's just kind of standing up straight. It's not the most exciting to me, and not that everything has to be dynamic, because we just saw that Darth Vader. It's not like super crazy, but that one's just a little too plain for me, a little too bland. Here we have a Star Wars mini bust of Luke Skywalker from The Last Jedi. So this is basically his last stand, if you will. I always dig translucent lightsabers. And again, there's a lot more photos of these guys out there. These photos are actually from, I believe they're from figures.com. We borrowed these from for this particular section. So if you want to see a lot more pictures of any of these characters, go over to figures.com and you can check them out there. Here is a new statue of the Praetorian Guard. And I don't really have much to say about him because they always confuse me. I always want to call them Emperor's Royal Guard, even though they're clearly not the Emperor's Royal Guard. But that's just me. And off to the side, which we didn't get a shot of either, I don't believe, is a Princess Leia larger scale action figure. And I think there's another one behind it. I couldn't really find images of those guys, but there are some larger scale figures. So I think that means they're continuing those 12-inch style retro figures from Kenner. Very cool. And again, here is a Star Wars Range Trooper, another bust. And this one was, again, I'm pretty sure this was at at Toy Fair. So we've seen this one before, but it's something nice to cover it again. Now here is, so Diamond's not going to be doing a whole big, expansive line of much larger scale busts. And we have a Thanos here, we have a Hulk, and we have a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, which is, oddly enough, the only Ghostbusters item on display this year at San Diego Comic-Con from Diamond. But it's a really cool looking piece, and you can see it's got like the Gozer building as his base. And now Mortal Kombat. So Diamond's getting into Mortal Kombat as well now. That franchise is going all over the place this year. But they're going to be doing really nice busts of Sub-Zero and Scorpion. And I love what they did with them here. There's going to be a lot of other busts. There's actually, I don't know if we have photos on this case, but you can check out figures.com for more pictures. There is going to be a Bruce Lee bust, and they brought out a lot of Bruce Lee stuff as well for the convention. So there's a lot more busts. Check it out on figures.com. And also, joining the show, we have some black hole items, black hole products. Now, I don't really know that much about black hole, but I will tell you, there's no Tron stuff on display, because unfortunately, it didn't make it to the show on time. But Tron is still happening, so you don't have to worry about that. There's going to be 4 figures in the initial wave. And I think one of them is actually going to be a Walgreens exclusive figure. I think it's going to be a Flynn figure that will be exclusively at Walgreens. And they're going to come with a special build-the-diorama piece of the, I can't remember what it's called, but it says, pretty sure it's those big square robot guys. You guys know what it is out there. Yeah, that's going to be the build-a-figure. Not to scale, but close enough. And by the way, here's Jay and Silent Bob. I can't not talk about those guys. They look really cool, too. Can never have enough Jay and Silent Bob figures. So what we're not showing here, by the way, as well, I didn't include it, besides the Westworld figures, was the Bruce Lee stuff, because there was a lot of Bruce Lee stuff on display, but we've seen that before, and Diamond's shared images of all those things before as well. And also John Wick. There were 2 John Wick figures. One we did see at Toy Fair. That may have been under wraps, but I think we saw that at Toy Fair. And that was from, like, the first movie, and then there's a John Wick from the more recent movie. And Diamond also is getting into the Godzilla game. They have a bunch of very nice statues here you can see. There's a Rodan. There's a Godzilla. These are like more modern style era Godzillas. I mean, not from like the current movies, but this is more from like the late 90s, early 2000s era, I believe. Again, same here with this particular Godzilla and this King Ghidorah. Let's see. I don't know if it actually says the year. It looks like it does actually, but I didn't look. I'm a moron. I didn't actually check before I did these videos. But they are the more modern style characters, and these are again really great, very affordable statues. So, you know, if you're a Godzilla fan, you want something that's really nice as part of your collection, but you don't want to spend a ton, there you go. Now, this is a big surprise to me. Diamond is getting into the Rocketeer, and they're going all out. So there's a big premiere statue. There's a more affordable statue on the other side. There's an action figure, and there's a Vinnie-Mate. 4 different ways to get your Rocketeer on, but I'm most excited for that action figure. We'll get to that one, I think, in a second. But yeah, they're going really heavy into these like more obscure Disney properties, and the Rocketeer was always a favorite of mine in particular, so I'm glad they're going so nuts on these. So here is the PVC statue of him flying off into the air. Again, great base. I think it's one of the things they do that's really cool with the PVCs in particular, the more cheaper ones, is that they always have some kind of like really interesting light up base. Or not light up, but translucent base you could light up from the bottom if you have something to do that with, a nice base. Now here is the Rocketeer action figure. The last time we got a Rocketeer figure was from Funko, and that was a piece of absolute trash. So with Diamond, I feel like we're in much safer hands. This is going to be a really cool toy. I can just see looking at all the accessories and what they're doing with it. This is going to be 100 times better than that piece of garbage Funko did. And here is the premiere statue. Again, very nice. They caught like that really Art Deco look that they used in the movie a lot. This is perfect. This is like the perfect Rocketeer set. So I don't think they're going to really do much more beyond this because Rocketeer only had 1 movie, sadly, and the other characters aren't really as interesting. But this is just great. It's glad to have the Rocketeer back. I'm very glad to see them return. And here again, there's a little bit more of the Mortal Kombat stuff. So here is a Sub-Zero statue, again, part of their PVC line. So this is one of the more affordable statues, believe it or not. And it's a very unique one, especially compared to the other items that are in Diamond's usual PVC statue lineup, because it's got that icy base. It's really cool, really stands out. Very dynamic looking piece. And just because I like it a lot, here's another shot of the Rocketeer stuff. And there's that Vinnie-Mate too. We don't really talk about him enough. The Vinnie-Mate's really cool, and he does have, looks like, some fire coming out of his base as well. You can see if you look between his legs. Weird thing to say, but it's accurate here. So yeah, Rocketeer stuff. So excited. Mortal Kombat as well. I know there's a lot of Mortal Kombat fans out there who are gonna really be into that stuff. Ooh, we're gonna go away from this now. Yeah. Okay. Good. A lot of very cool stuff from Diamond this year. They always bring it. But I do have one announcement that I found out in a video. In fact, that was from Pixel Dan's tour that he did with Zach Oat from Diamond, and they didn't have it on display yet because I guess there's nothing there yet. Maybe by New York Comic Con they'll have something. If not, I'm sure by Toy Fair they will have to have something in hand. Diamond Select will be doing Avatar: The Last Airbender action figures. Now, we don't really know who's in it yet. I believe that Zach mentioned Aang, actually, so we're going to at least get Aang. I think he meant to say Katara, but he accidentally said Korra, so I'm pretty sure we're going to get Aang and Katara in the first wave. I would imagine Zuko will probably join it as well for that first wave. Maybe Sokka. It makes sense, but those 4 rather in that first wave. But we will see, because at this point it's all kind of still under wraps. But we do know that Avatar: The Last Airbender is coming from Diamond at some point in the next year. So we'll stay up to date with that one because we're big Avatar fans here. We're going to keep our eye on that piece of news. So again, that was our quick little walkthrough of everything from the Diamond Select booth at SDCC 2019. Shout out to figures.com and to all the other sites that we've used images from this weekend. So if you want to see more pictures of these and all the other things that we didn't include here that we've already seen but you didn't maybe see, go check out their websites, give them a click. They deserve it. They've been doing some good work out there this weekend. So again, I'm Matthew from Nerd News Today. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video, share it on your social media pages, and subscribe to our channel to get notifications when we go live with some live streams again, and when we post more videos like this. So again, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next time.